So let's do the quick introduction before I hand over to the colleagues from SAP, who will show us the demos, how the new modern SAP full stack developer will look like. But before they start, I'm trying to show you how it was before, how it was in the old world. So the typical ABAP developer had always the task to make the customer, the user, very happy. So for this, he used our all-beloved programming language ABAP, and with all his skill set from the earlier days, he developed nice-looking Dynpro and even nicer-looking web Dynpro applications. That's the old way of development. And in the old days, so let's go back to in time, there was the easy stuff, the easy ABAP with the straightforward report programming, and also maybe sometimes there were APIs based on function modules, and the classical, Dynpros with the PAI, and PBO logic, and the classical exit programming like ASMOD, CMOD, and so on. And also all the complete other ABAP technology stack was needed for an old one ABAP developer, like Subscript, Workflow, and CLGUI, ALV Grid, and all the stuff we already know from the old world. And also the old developer had to know about the processes, the common APIs to use, and which exit, which body they had, and how to extend the end-to-end process in the in his domain, in his sales and delivery, in his enterprise warehouse management, and so on. And with an easy, the slides are should be in English, what I recognized about 3 minutes before, so sorry for that. So the typical way for an old developer was creating a typical report. We know all the good old SA38. Then he programmed the selection screen, and after selection screen, there was some logic to be implemented, and afterwards, the final one, the final cut, we're doing a transaction before we hand it over to include this application into any business role. And also then with the later step, there was all the ABAP newer stuff coming with the first movings to the web, like Web Dynpro, Web Client UI, and service-oriented architecture with SOAP, XML, inheritance, interfaces. All the object-oriented programming model stuff had to be learned by the ABAP developer with all the commonly known technologies that are offered at this time. But at some day, S4HANA came to us, and with S4HANA, a lot of stuff changed for the developers. They had to learn the new processes. They had to adapt to the usage of in-memory databases like S4HANA, like the mobilizing of the complete processes, and also the new user experience concepts in this area. And for this, SAP shipped technologies like CDS views, like Fiori, and also RESTful ABAP programming model. But what does it mean? The ABAP developer has simply to change the stack between him and the customer or the user of an application, and this technology switched to Fiori UX. So this switch not only is we're changing some UX from Dynpro to Web Dynpro or something else. He had to learn a lot more new stuff and a lot more adaptation. He had still to use ABAP, right? Wonderful. But also he has to switch from SE80 to ADT. We all love ADT, right? Okay, cool. Huh? No. Yeah. Everyone is raising their hands and doing a party. Also, SAP introduced their CDS VDM, the virtual data model, and a lot of technologies. The new RESTful ABAP programming model is based on, like the behavior definitions, behavior implementations, and also the modernizing stuff in the ABAP kernel, like new SQL syntax and new ABAP syntax as well, like and also the database, very close database related technologies, like they introduced SQL script, something that was never before about in the earlier days. And OData with OData v2, SADL, OData v4, everything becomes now important for an ABAP developer. And also the new stuff for doing the front end, not the classical Dunpro. We're switching to Fiori and the Fiori apps based on OData annotations. We has to learn how to enhance a Fiori application and perhaps also use a flexible programming model and all this front end stuff based on SAP UI5. So also some new stuff for the developer to learn. And then also after the final cut, after everything was fine, the application is running, it still has to be shipped via the adaptation on the Fiori Launchpad to the customer. So developing the business roles, defining all the navigation targets, etc., etc. And if this is not enough, then the developer also has to learn what custom fields and logic is for adapting the existing shipped by SAP applications. And this is not only one stuff that is done in the front end via one app. There's also a complete technology stack behind from the application server via the front end adaptation, and then finally arrived in a Launchpad. So just to, I did earn some time again, and now I'll hand over to the SAP colleagues who will show you how to this done. Complete stuff is done.
Okay, thanks, Irwan. So we can just continue right here. So my name is Christoph Gollmig. I'm from the UX engineering department, and with me Fabian and Volker from ABAP Platform. They will join in a minute when the demo, first part of the demos are over. Okay, yeah, so the question is how to support the modern full stack developer. So before we go into that, let's recapitulate rephrase what is a full stack developer. Full stack developer has to build the logic and the service in the ABAP world, and also has to build the application. And usually the developer will use different tools for that nowadays. So ADT was already mentioned, and then on the other side, Visual Studio Code or Business Application Studio. So the question is how we can support those persons. And there are three ways to do that. The first is we enhance our tooling and integrate our tooling, so make it more seamless to switch between the toolings as a first step. The next one is provide more capabilities, more features, which can be consumed on the front-end side out of the box. So that means something which you can annotate in ABAP, which is then understood by Fiori elements, like some analytics capabilities or hierarchy capabilities to be shown then in the Fiori application. And finally, if you want to be even faster with your development, we can utilize generative AI. And for all of those, we will now see examples, demos. Some of those features are already available for you to use in the shipped product, but we'll also, as it is a keynote, outgoing keynote of the ABAP Conf, we will also show something about the future, what we have in the works in our lab, and yeah, that will be the mix for today. Good. Let's start with the first demo. So let's look into tool support and tool integration. So I'm now a full stack developer, and I'm starting with my business logic in the ABAP system. So once I have developed that, I have to expose it as a service, and I'm reusing here this travel example, which you know from tutorials, which is available to try out. And I have prepared a travel service metadata extension for the UI. So I put some line item annotations here. So that means on the UI, then I can see a table as a starting point. So I've exposed that service with OData v4. So here's a service binding. And what you probably know from ADT, you can now preview that service and see how it would look like. But there's a new button now, Create Fiori project. So that means you can directly start from here your Business Application Studio or Visual Studio Code. I'm clicking on that, but while it is open, I show you how you can configure that. Okay. That. Don't want to join the audio. Okay, good. Under project properties, okay, I have to relog on, go to my trial landscape. Okay. Okay. Let's go back here. So what do I have to configure? So I can configure, as I said, the Business Application Studio and also Visual Studio Code. And for Business Application Studio, I just have to provide the URL, the dev space ID, and the destination into the other part, so that the connectivity can be in both directions. Okay, this I have already done. That's why my call to the Business Application Studio worked. And because I have prepared it upfront, I am now asked whether I want to create another application for the travel entity or whether I want to create a new one. I want to create a new project. So if you have worked Business Application Studio and SAP Fiori tools, then you probably know also SAP Fiori generator. Normally, you would then have to enter some more data, but here something is some parts are already pre-filled. So the first thing what I have to choose is I have to choose what basic type of application I want. Do I want just a basic freestyle? Do I want to have Fiori elements with a custom page, or do I want a classic list report page? I'm going classic and I'm choosing list report. So next. So, and here we see our pre-selection. So we selected travel and the ABAP development tools here. So this is known and pre-filled, and I can confirm the rest. There's one setting which I would like to point out. This is this one. You remember I have defined the line items for the table, but I didn't define anything for the object page. So I'm basically asking now the generator to create annotations for the object page if they are not available, but those will be then locally with the project. Okay, the rest is fine. Let's go ahead. So I have to give it a name. Oops. Travel, and this is my travel app. Okay, let me scroll down because there's one other thing which is pre-filled. This is a minimum UI5 version. This is basically the version which defines the features that I can later use in Fiori. And this is derived from the backend system. So as I know, there's this trial landscape behind. So this is retrieved and filled in here. I can choose another one, but this is what I get automatically. So the rest is fine. I do not want to deploy, that's fine. I'm good and can finish. So what it's doing now, it creates a project for me in my dev space. You see it here. You see the folder structure, the web app folder, so everything what is needed. And what it also does, it installs some dependencies, dev dependencies to the project. These are tools which we need to provide you with developer experience with SAP Fiori tools. And if this is all finished, then you end up on our landing page, the application information page, which we provide for all applications. And you see some metadata about the application. Yeah, you remember this was the version we choose. You see a glimpse on the structure, and you can also then go directly to editing here. We will see it later. Here is the status of the modules we need. So UX-UI5 tooling is required for the preview. And the middleware for mock server is to provide mock data if you don't have a service. But as we have a service, we don't need it. So the first thing what we are doing is we look at the application. That's why we click on preview and choose the basic script here. And let's get it started. And then we can see what the process so far provided us. On top of this OData v4 service, now we have a list report object page application based on Fiori elements. We see here our columns, which we defined in the line item, and if we press go, then it's populated with the data from the demo scenario for the travel scenario. Okay, but we have also an object page. We can go here and see a predefined section, so we can tailor it later if we want. Yeah, this is based on local annotations now. So there's a couple of things I don't like. So the first thing is the GUID was chosen as a header. This is not a good idea. We should rather use a travel ID. We have to change that. The second thing what I don't like is that I had to press go, even though there's not much data in, we can actually afford to have an autoload of the table. So let's change that. To do that, I'm going back in my Business Application Studio and now have all the capability of SAP Fiori tools at my disposal. So let's go to the object page and modify what is needed. So give it a bit more space. So what's opening now is the page editor, part of the application modeler extension in SAP Fiori tools. And it will provide you with an outline of the page, and you can change properties here. So we want to modify the title. So that means, okay, let's use a search. It's easier. Okay, we have a search filter. So if you are lost in the properties, you can always use that title. And this is currently not set. It means defaulted. So we want travel ID. Good. Done. Okay. Let's go back to the list report because we wanted to have the go button not required anymore. And this is a setting on the table. That's why we go here. We have the table. And then let's, okay. I'm using the search. It's easier without mouse. So, okay. Initial load is a property. So if you know the name, you can have fast access with the search. Otherwise, you can scroll. And we want to set it to enable. This is now a manifest property. And you see it here. Each property has some text, and it shows you where it is going. So this part goes into the manifest. So, okay. So in the background, the app was refreshed automatically because it detected changes in the project. And we are here. So no go button. It automatically populated. First change was done. Second change was done as well. Good. Okay, we have no GUID anymore, but it's a real ID. Okay, so let's go further. Look at the filter bar. So we have some default filters from Fiori elements, and we have one custom field here, the starting date. But we would also like to have the end date. And we can go back now to the page editor and have a look at the filter bar and see, okay, what we can do now, we can add new filters if we want, and we could also select it. But I will not do that here because the page editor will write it as a local annotation, but we want to do it in ABAP. So how do I can get some hint how to do it in ABAP from here if I'm in this position? So there's another tool we provide in Fiori tools. This is guided development. Guided development is a bit different than the page editor. It is not just the outline and features you have to click on to know what you're doing, but it assembles certain tasks and provides the guides for those. So I would like to do something with the filter bar. That's why I'm entering here, filter, and then I'm presented with all the guides which deal with the filter bar. And I check the first one, add in edit filter fields. And here I'm now guided with a wizard-like approach. And I have the possibility not only to create the XML annotations like the page editor will do, but I can also create ABAP CDS. So in this I'm choosing here and start the guide. Okay, let me give a bit more space here. So I have to select what I want. So I would like to have it on the travel type, and I would like to have, I need to specify a filter position. Let's go this one. And I would like to have the end date. Let me check. Yes. Oh, the Zoom expert
I try. That's nice.
Oh, great. Thanks, Aaron. Winner. Good, good. I'm not a Zoom expert. Sorry, I'm usually use Teams, so the Teams is easier, but so yeah. Okay. So okay, so but in the meantime, I think the script, sorry, the guide got my input. So very good. And we have now a snippet which we can insert. So the snippet is here. So I can click on the copy button and I'm going here to my ADT, to my metadata, and probably there will be an outcry in a moment when I paste it here, but for everybody who knows what will happen. Yeah, okay. It will be, of course, giving me an error because I have entered already here as a line item. So that means I have to correct it a bit and I have to move it upwards. So, okay, and then delete the entered entry here. Okay, and I have to activate. So, going back now to my application preview, and then I have to refresh, and I see the field, hopefully. Yeah. Good. So. Yeah, takes a moment now to get it from the, yeah, perfect. I have it here. Good. Okay, so this was basically my demo part regarding the bridging between the tools. So, and you also see there are points for improvement. Yeah, so we have that easy generation already available, and we have this copy snippet feature. But yeah, you could do much more. Yeah, so we could actually recognize the CDS in ABAP and maybe in future also be able to copy it directly to the ABAP system. So there is a lot of potential what you can improve here. Okay, so I will have another demo. And here I will go into the future. Basically, I will show you a feature which is currently developed by our colleagues regarding analytics capability with OData v4 from RAP and with SAP Fiori Elements. So, and this is now my labs preview part. The first labs preview part. So let's go to the other dev environment. So I have basically created a similar application as before, but I have it analytically enabled. So I have put them some booking data and also enabled the services so that aggregations are possible. All features which are currently in development. So, and if I do that, then I have some more capabilities from the page editor and the page map. So I can actually add a chart here now. So this is still a classic list report, as you may know it. So now I can add a chart. Sorry, yeah, I clicked wrong. So, okay, so let's make a column chart and choose the carrier ID and the total distance. Okay, it added the chart. And another one, what we are doing is we change our table. So our table was a responsive table all the time, but now we want an analytical table. So the manifest change, super easy. Just change the value and then let's wait for the refresh. And if the colleagues didn't mess with the backend, we should see a chart. Yes, and we also see an analytical table with summation and aggregation possibilities. So this is full functional. You can drill in and drill out here, and also select another perspective. It's all enabled. So this is currently in the works. So this is hopefully to come in 2025. And there's one thing I would like to remark. What did I do now? So I took a list report and moved it with a few clicks into an analytical list report. So this is something important to understand with OData v4 and your elements on OData v4. There is no separation anymore between classic transaction list report and analytical list page. It's all one and just a few clicks away. Yeah, you can move from one direction in the other, and even with freestyle programming. Good. Okay, and with that, I will hand over to Fabian. He will give a bit more about what is planned regarding features.
Exactly. So just bring me up the PowerPoint presentation and we can directly deep dive also in the work map. So as you've seen, there are a lot of features coming also in a kind of joint collaboration between Fiori Elements and ABAP Cloud. And what I would like to give you is a glimpse view on the upcoming releases and also the roadmap, what we plan to do there, right? So in our development teams, especially in those work streams we have together with our Fiori colleagues, we are focusing at the moment on two major things. So we first of all want to enable you as developers to manage the complexity of your business processes. So we are introducing features to allow that. And second, we also want to boost the efficiency of you, so as a developer, but also of your business user. And I will come that to a second. But first, I would like to give you some glimpse into the managed complexity part. And as you just saw, Christoph showed you a kind of lab preview for the analytical table. We plan to deliver this feature with 2508 and also with 2025 in the on-prem and private cloud edition. And there you are able really to define analytical capabilities, so aggregations, grouping in your transactional models. And of course, beside also of potential multi-dimensional analytics, which we also support with a kind of embedded analytics mode in the ABAP server. What is already available today is the feature which we call editable tree view. So you are managing your data regarding hierarchical structures. So you can really bring them in a hierarchy, and also per drag and drop, you can assign hierarchies and childs to different parents. And how this works, how this is integrated also in the current programming model will now be shown by Volker. And he will give you a short insight into exactly that development topic. So Volker, feel free.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thanks, Fabian. Thanks, Christoph, for the introduction. And as said, I will quickly demonstrate the editable tree view. Watch the cables here. No, you leave it there. I will just share. Sorry for that. Into the. Do you want to continue? So I will just share over if I'm allowed to. So you should be able to see perfect. Wow, this works. Brilliant. So what did you click? Hide coding meeting control, or what was that? So yeah, perfect. Brilliant. Good. Yeah, as said. So editable tree view. It is planned to be shipped 2502, so it's kind of done in terms of development, but not yet available. But we plan to ship it and kind of stick to our promise this time, Sören. And so how does it looks like? I have, with the tooling that Christoph has shown, I've deployed the little app to the Fiori Launchpad in a Steampunk environment. And this is the application that I've built here. It is about agencies, so also belongs to the travel kind of scenario. And it deals with the master data of agencies. And inside each agency, we have a set of employees in a tree-like manner, in a hierarchical manner. And this is what you can edit with this application. And I will step into one of the agencies. I will switch it into edit mode. And at the header, you see the regular fields, as you know before, like in a regular object page. But underneath, and we will do this in full screen, and we have a little more space. And underneath, we have this editable tree view for the employees. And you already indicate here this little arrow, so you can expand this. And it's a kind of a regular responsive table here in terms of editing the columns here and the fields. But as you can see that we have this tree-like structure, and we can expand and collapse, as you can imagine. And it works with lazy loading. So this hierarchy here is a little small, of course, with only 20 entries. But of course, there can be significantly more, and it means only the elements that you are supposed to see that have been expanded will also be loaded. And yeah, it's editable, so you can now play around with it, drag and drop. So I can, for instance, grab number 5, Ida here, and make it kind of an employee underneath James. By just kind of dragging and dropping it here, I can add more, of course, just adding more into that new kind of substructure here. I can also take subtrees, of course. I can take the entire branch with Pierre and all these people under him, and also drag him at number 3. And then we extend this hierarchy and drag it back and forth, yeah. We can, of course, also kind of create new entries. Let's say employee or manager number 3, manager James, gets now a new entry. Let's say we press the create button here. We stick to the default. And then we can just say here, and the salary is not important anymore here. So let's say 50,000. That should be sufficient. And that one has now been created right underneath James. Yeah. So we can also change the sequence here. Let's say for whatever reason, I don't want the given sequence as we see here. So 5, 6, 7, and so on. But I want to have 6 moved a bit up, not in a tree-like or sub-tree-like structure, but to just have the sequence changed, yeah, and this can be done. And we use a little field here which is called sibling order. We have on purpose, we are showing it here in the hierarchy. Of course, in a real productive environment, you probably would not do it. But here we do it on purpose in order to indicate this, yeah. So with this sibling order, that's the indicator of how things are sorted. And of course, you can also change it back and forth. Yeah, that is possible. What you can also do, you can basically, what we call it, unlink. So at the moment, all these employees that you see here belong to a certain manager. But you can also change that in the sense that you say, okay, for whatever reason, Ida is now not reporting to anyone anymore, but it's kind of, belongs to the root node as well. And then you could just move it over here. Into that spare section, and then if I collapse it, then you see it's now also on the root node. Yeah. So with bottom line, with this feature set here, you are quite flexible in having an editable tree view, and can do things accordingly. And how is this now being implemented? I will also quickly show you. On the backend side, of course, the starting point is a database table, the employee database table here, that has or allows for a self-reference. So we have the agency that each employee belongs to. Then, of course, we have the employee ID for that corresponding employee, but we also have this manager information, which is the same data element. And with this field, we basically build the hierarchy. And this is done in the following way. We close this one here and step quickly. I will not show you all the details, don't worry, but very briefly, the modeling here, we have the base CDSU that is used for the modeling of the RAPBO. And here you see the so-called self-association. So this CDSU points to itself in order to allocate the manager, but also the employees underneath. Yeah, so in this case, we even use 2 self-associations. One would be required. The second one is kind of optional. And inside the RAPBO, we see that this is being modeled in the following manner, and you will get new keywords in the behavior definition. Yes, I knew that this will come, Sören. So I'm collapsing the agency, the root node, because I want to take a look at the employee with the hierarchy definition and the implementation. So it's kind of, it starts as usual, but you will see, of course, now these self-associations that are intra-BO cross-instance associations. So they point to the same BO. It's not a cross-BO, but intra-BO, but they point, of course, to other instances. For instance, here pointing to the manager, and there it's of course also draft enabled, but we have new features like link and unlink actions. They are needed in order to kind of drag and drop and assign to somebody different. Yeah, so that it's unlinked from a certain manager and or then linked to a new manager, or unlinked. That was the last step that I've shown you, where I kind of moved it outside of the hierarchy. So there, in this case, it was just unlinking it, or you link it again to another and then override the current manager, for instance. And the actual declaration of the instance of the hierarchy, sorry, is needed, and that is done here. Yeah, and I will quickly also mention or explain this CDSU because it defines the CDS hierarchy. But before I do that, I will quickly walk you through these other new statements. One is the manage reorder action. That is also one of the reasons why we had a little delay here, because in order to move things around, to change the next sibling, so the sequence, kind of a little bit of code was needed. And the previous version that we demoed in other sessions, that had to be coded on your own. And now we have implemented this on the framework side, so it comes out of the box, and you can, of course, you can still implement it your way if you want, but you can just rely on the framework and just annotate or kind of declare it here accordingly in the behavior definition, and then it's kind of automatically working. For that, you need to specify the field that carries this sibling number, the sequence number, and that's how it basically works. We have ascending and descending associations. That's also new keywords. The one kind of the ascending ones kind of pointing to the manager, and the one pointing to the employees, so plural. And with the option that you have cascading delete. That means self-explanatory. If you delete some kind of node in between, then all the employees underneath will be deleted as well, if you want that. If not, you just leave it away, and then no deletion would happen. So it's again up to you how you handle this. Yeah. So, and what I will show you, the last thing is this hierarchy definition. That's also a bit special if you have not seen it before. I worked with CDS hierarchies before, because this is important, and that's also part of the exposure. So it's also in the projection layer needs to be mentioned here, this hierarchy definition, because this is kind of, first of all, defines or declares the CDS hierarchy on the HANA database. Basically also indicates, as you can see, it uses a parameter for the agency filtering. So we talk about so-called directories in this kind of in this manner here. We have the iView that is having the self-association that is being used here. We have the manager association pointing to the or highlighting the actual association in order to get the parent. This directory is used for the grouping. So this is also needed, of course, for the log shadow, so that you edit only one agency and all the employees underneath. Not the entire set of all agencies and all employees, entirely. So you know from a regular transactional application. You have a start indicator. So you said where the manager is initial, that's where the hierarchy starts, and the sibling order or the kind of the order sequence, and if it's ascending or descending. So this is what you declare, and that is what is needed in terms of the hierarchy declaration, so that also the behavior definition knows about it and can act accordingly. And with that, I will give back. Don't know exactly now how I unshare, because
I can just.
You can just.
Okay. There we go. All right, so I think we're there. Also going to try to move that, and hide that, and mix that away, and stuff like that. Okay, I think we're back online. Everything cool. Good, great. So we also had a view on those managed complexity things, and what I also want to highlight now is the work streams we have also regarding boost efficiency. So AI is currently a very high weighted thing also in our development areas. And with 2502, we also deliver the tool developer capabilities for ABAP. If you not have heard about it yet, so we deliver a whole bunch or tool set of AI assisted tool capabilities for ADT, which is seamlessly integrated there. So you have a chat assistant, which also assists you in explaining coding, also legacy coding, function models, and stuff like that. We have integrated coding prediction. So this is also very neat. And there are also further capabilities exists, like generating unit tests or generating unit tests for CDS models. Oh, you're absolutely right. And this will come with 2502, and there it will not end. So we will also invest in the upcoming releases in those developer capabilities. Also regarding the generation of business objects, you will see something coming up there soon. Yeah, I think the collaborative draft was mentioned sometimes today. We plan currently to deliver it with 2508. We are still working on some details there, but we are optimistic that this. But we are very optimistic that it will come. Yeah, so I think quality lately also a very important topic, right? So make sure that the quality is right, and especially by that topic, it is very important to make sure that the quality is correct. Otherwise, we may also not satisfy our customers and you here, right? So therefore, we also decided to postpone it to 2508. And what also will come up soon is also an AI-assisted feature. It's called recommendations. So with one of the upcoming releases, you will have the possibility also to integrate machine learning algorithms natively in your RESTful application programming model to also display recommendation values for your input fields. So your business user can type in several fields of your business applications, and magically, based on machine learning algorithms behind, so it's powered by ESLM, they will receive some meaningful recommendations, which then they can use also to fulfill their business scenarios. So this is where we really want to make sure to boost the efficiency. And when talking about AI, there's of course more tools coming up. And one thing will also now be shown by Christoph. And I really like that demo. And yeah, you will see.
Thanks, Fabian. So, yes. Okay. Need one more slide before we go to the demo. Yeah, let's quickly talk about generative AI. And so we have already some solutions, some things you have already seen by Fabian announced. And from SAP Fiori Tools, we have one capability already available for S/4HANA Cloud Edition, where you can input a text to an agent, and the text then is used to create a CAP application. So this is already available. But we are planning to have AI everywhere available where it makes sense. So for the developer, integrated in the tools for development, and also in the business applications. So our framework Fiori Elements allows us to have generic capabilities to be delivered, and we would also like to bring AI capabilities this way to the business user. But what I want to show today is a lab preview. And what I try to do is, with the help of AI, I will convert the IEOX transaction family for equipments into a SAP Fiori applications, just based on some screenshots and text. Good. Let's hope, cross fingers, that this works and we don't get some hallucinations. Good. But it was very stable in the prototype. So it's a POC. So this is lab preview. So this is not yet finished. We are still working on it. And my input is a Markdown document. And the Markdown document contains the description of the transaction. So I will talk about this a bit later. I will start the generation right now because it takes a while. That's why let's choose the input on the left side in our agent. And then attach the file and start the generation. And we have an output log, so we can watch the output log while I'm talking about what's going on. Okay, it started, step one, good. Okay. So, some of you may know the equipment transaction. The equipment transaction is quite big, so it has a lot of tabs. Yeah, there's a lot of information, a lot of fields, some tables even. And what we did is here, we just described what it is. Yeah, so what we see on the screens together with the screenshots, and also a bit what we want to have in the final SAP Fiori application. I think it's 6 tabs or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 tabs actually. And yeah, this is the input. And yeah, we give this input to the LLM, and the language model now starts trying to interpret what it reads and what it sees, and works on that. And I can maybe show you how this looks. Let's just keep it in this mode so we don't need the presentation mode, I think. What we are doing. So first of all, we need to figure out, is it text or is it image or is it combined? And then we have to start checking, does it fit to what we want? So is it actually a description of an application? If yes, it's good. If not, then we have to ask further questions. And based on the feature capabilities of Subfury Elements, the LLM is now starting to classify what it reads. So what is a object page? How many object pages I need? Do I need a list report? Do I need multiple sections? And this is now the work done in the background. And if this information is digested, then we create a JSON model of the application. So we are not creating all the artifacts of the application, but there's an intermediate model, which is a simplified description of the application. And this we then use to use our tools, so the procedural tools, to generate the project and apps out of it. So in this particular case, what's happening is that based on this JSON model, we're creating a RAP service in a system in the backend. And then the RAP service is consumed by the front-end tools, and Subfury generator will create a Subfury Elements application on top of this. This will be put in the so-called staging area. This is an area where you still can refine and where you can rework the application, or rephrase the question and let it regenerate and all the things. And if you are then happy with that, you can accept it, and then it's going in your normal dev space. This is how it currently works. Okay, good. Let's see how far we are with our generation. So we are in step 4. So step 4 means we have already our RAP service. That's good, because it means I can show it to you. And let's go to the ABAP developer tools. And now I have to switch to my development system, and I have to refresh. The data definitions could not be performed. Your session. Yes, my session is over. That means I have to enter my password again. Oops. Failed to log on. Let me try again. Good. Let's refresh again. Yes, and now we have a new equipment data definition. You see, there was a lot of tries, and as development is happening, that means people are using it. So double click on it, and we should see it here. So this is the definition, which we already got. So more work is being done by the LLM. So there's one thing in this prototype, we are generating everything from scratch. So that means everything what is digested and seen on the screens and screenshots is transferred into a new model, a new data model, new database. So we are not matching it with existing stuff in the S/4HANA system. This is definitely something we have to look into to make it possible to also reuse things what is available. Yeah, but so far in this prototype, we are generating everything from scratch. Good. So we are in step 6, installing node modules. So installing node modules means we have already our application. The application is already created, but now we need to install the node modules. And usually this takes a while because network, VPN, and all these things, and depending on the situation of the load of the machine. So that's why I will give you a bit of an update regarding what is further being done. So after we have the LLM done the job, then we have a Fiori Elements application. So in general, a bit background about Fiori Elements. So Fiori Elements means you are, as a developer, describing the data and describing the semantics of the data with annotations. So you expose an OData service. If you do it in ABAP, you create a RAP service, and Sadel exposes it as an OData v2 or OData v4 service. And then you also need UI annotations to describe what you want to see on the screen. And if you did that, then the Fiori Elements framework uses the UI5 controls and all the generic controller logic to create you an app, so that you get this, for example, this list report object page, which you saw before. And we have a lot of capabilities with Fiori Elements already for free. So like the variant management, the filter bar is already there. Of course, you have to define which filters you want, but this is all there. The whole actions behind. We have action support. You have on the table, you have sorting, personalization, export to Excel. All these features are coming for free from the SAP Fiori Elements framework. And one thing, if you remember, when I talked about how to transfer a list report into an analytic list page, with the new SAP Fiori Elements for Data v4, it is now a continuum in regards of what capability mixes you want to have. So you can go classic with the classic predefined floor plans, like the list report page, or starting with an analytic list page directly. But you can move now. You can also decide, I would like to add custom coding. So you can do that with the flexible programming model, not leaving Fiori Elements. You still get a lot of frame coding for free, but you can add your own controls and can configure your own controls. And last but not least, if this also doesn't fulfill your business needs, you can go freestyle and use freestyle coding wherever necessary. And you can mix and match and go in any direction. Good. And I see the generation was completed. So. And we have an app. So now I'm really interested on how it will look like. So I'm clicking on preview. So let me fix it. So this takes a moment because it updates in the background. So it's always a bit surprised because it always looks a bit different. So especially the mock data. So it also creates mock data based on what it saw on the screen. So, okay, did I actually click or did I just, okay, I click again, maybe this helps. Good. So what it should do now is open your terminal and start the preview. So it looks like my PC is a bit overloaded with it. Okay, now it comes back. Now it starts. Good. Maybe because I had it in the background and not in the foreground. So. Yeah, suspense is great, right? Yeah, so. Okay. npm run start mock. This is one of the scripts which we per default generate with our generator. So we are starting the app now with mock data and not with real data because the database in the backend is not yet filled. So the mock data is local. Yeah. So this is also something we have to look into to make it also possible to use data in the ABAP system. So. We're almost there. So now it needs to start the browser. And I think I did a mistake. I did actually click twice. So I'm starting the preview twice. So it could have been faster if I haven't done that. But I was too impatient to see the result. Almost. So not yet. Yeah, this is. Hope you can wait and are not too hungry, so that we can wait for the application to start. The window is opened. Okay, so this is almost there. Okay, now I have to log. That's good. It's good. I have to log in my system. Okay.
Hopefully you don't forget the password.
Yeah. So I typed it before wrong as well. But then it was right again. So I hope it is. Oops. That's not good. That's not good. Let me try it once more, but I have.
Everybody a little prayer.
That's not good. So let me try something.
But-
Okay, did it open? Okay. What is news? That's okay, but the other one is opened. And okay. Let me try it again. It should be hopefully fast. So let's go and so let's preview again. I can open also the app directly. Maybe it's faster when I'm doing it from here. Doesn't want me to show it. That's bad. Looks like my Visual Studio Code doesn't look good.
But in the meantime, while you're trying to make it running, just are there already any questions from the audience? Because I have some.
Yes, of course. Let's wait for it.
So exactly, this is how live demos works, right?
Yeah.
So and it's a lab review, so we are never sure if it really works out and in the end, but let's see, maybe we'll still get it running.
Hopefully I didn't get my user in the system.
But I have, I think, two questions. First one, you showed us the roadmap, but the roadmap was in the near future a little bit empty, except AI. Are there any other stuff coming up?
Yeah, of course. And there's further stuff coming up. So we're stopping not all our activities and just doing AI. So this is not the case. So we are doing also standard development and also improving web features there. I did not put everything on that map. So there was also a small link beneath, right? So jump into the other cloud roadmap. There we really find all details regarding UI services, analytics, integration services, but also EAM security and stuff like that. So deep dive there, and there you will find all those information and the complete roadmap.
Okay. And all the AI features, are they exclusively public cloud, private cloud, on-prem if you pay some extra money? Or how is it planned to work?
So the first delivery will happen in 2502. So it's public cloud and SAP PGP ABAP environment, of course. We also will ship it with 2025 to the private cloud edition. By the way, the demo is here. But the strategy on prem and delivery AI features there and what is available there is not clarified yet and is still under discussion.
But under discussion and not, it's a possibility that it may become.
Well, as I say, it's under discussion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can say 50-50, you can say 60-40. It doesn't matter. It's under discussion, right?
All right.
switch back to the demo. So we got a list report, and but I think for the equipment application, the object page is more important. So let's see whether we got what the old transaction was doing. And yes, we got it. So we got it as tabs, so multiple sections, and it recognized all the entities and even created master data here with a table. So there's something to work with. And yeah, so this resembles quite well the original transaction. And of course, it's a RAP draft service. So that means editing is possible as well here. Yes, and now we are done. Oh, no, not yet.
That's where 85% of the challenges are in.
Yeah, though it saves it to the new database, but not to the one which is about the real equipment. So, because I said the connection between the CDS views and the data model which is existing and the one which you generated, this is something which we are working on.
Can make any change? Like for example, adding new label, we need to update image description, and we need to integrate, or just we can add some sentences that can be added.
So at the moment, this is monolithic thing. So the prototype is so you have to re-up. So basically, if you change the queries, then you get a new thing. Yeah, but we are also working on an incremental agent, so that you basically after the creation, you can then ask more things to add or to remove or to change. Yeah. So, but this is not so easy. So this will take some time to get this all right. And we need, yeah, the possibilities are big. So we need to reduce it and see that we always get predictable results. So, but it's in the works. Yeah.
Can you tell a bit more what's going in the background? Because in this transaction, you will, in the original one, you had a logic, for example, that you can only have a plant which is existing and so on.
Yeah, so
Things like that. Is the language model really learning based on the programs which stand behind them, or is this purely the surface which it sees and uses?
It is purely the service language. So basically it understands what it sees on the screen and creates a model out of it. Theoretically, it would be also able to create logic. Yeah, but this is not in this prototype.
Okay, but that would be something which you would really need to make a conversion out of existing Dynpro transactions. Yeah?
What we actually need is what I said. So we need a way to combine basically the things which is recognized with what is the reality in the S4 system. This is the one which we need. Yeah, so we need to understand. We need to teach the system that it sees a field, for example, material on a general serial data, and then finds the corresponding CDS view with the same thing in the system, and then connects it. So basically, this works. And everything which is not known creates it on top, or ask the user what to do. This is actually what is needed to make it work on S4. Yeah.
So thank you very much for your presentation. I think it was really nice